I met a gypsy.
Works. You know, we're just always putting out new decks. I'm working on a mountain bike shoe for Vans right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So actually,
Dude, I want that.
tomorrow I have a meeting at Vans to go in there to see a sample.
Yep.
And so we're trying to go through channels to make that happen. Have we gone through the channels the channels that they want? No, but you know, when there's a will, there's a way. So we've been striving and trying to convince them that mountain biking is huge.
Yeah.
It's a huge industry there. It's a huge community there, and people need a Vans mountain bike shoe. And I want my half cab to be included with it as well, because I'm an enthusiast. I'm a realist. You know, I go out there, I put the work in, I ride, I train, I try as hard as I can to be the best mountain bike rider that I can. And so I'm not just putting on a mountain bike shoe because it's a new thing. Like, I want to have that.
What's a mountain bike half cab look like to you? What's that? What features are we building into this thing?
I would say the features that what mountain bikers want to have it function correctly, and the performance, the way it lasts, the way it feels on your foot. You know, so we listen to a lot of riders and what they want, and that's when, you know, that's how you make things happen and you make great product. And the only reason why the half cab ever came to existence is because, for one, I listened to the skaters. They were cutting down my shoe. My shoe came out in 1989. By 1991, everyone who bought my shoe was cutting it in half. So I started cutting it in half too, and I was following the trend. I was being a trendy person and following what the street skaters were doing. And then after like the second pair, I'm like, what? Like, why am I even doing this? Why don't we just make them? So I called Vans and I said, hey, all these people are cutting down my shoe and they're duct taping them so the foam doesn't come out. Some of them are sewing them, to, you know, and why don't we just make that shoe and call it the half cab? And it's synonymous. Is that the word?
Synonymous.
Synonymous to the trick itself, because the trick that I invented in 1980 called the Caballero, which is a fakie 360 ollie, was invented before the half cab. So some people think the half cab came first, and then that's why they call it the full cab. But it's in vertical skating, it's the other way around. In street skating, yeah, you probably do a half cab first on the street, and then you do a full cab. That's the progression. You know, the way that I invented it was I was not even going to think about going halfway and then come back to faking. No way. It's going to come all the way around.
Yeah.
So the full cab Caballero came out in 1980. 3 years later, Kevin Staub and Tony Hawk were working on the half Caballero to do it half. So then eventually they just called it the half cab. And same what happened with my shoe. My shoe came out in 1989, the full cab.
Yeah.
Which is just the Caballero high top. And we cut it in half, and then the thing in my head was like, I'm just going to copy what we did in skating, but let's call it the half cab. It's like
so iconic,
no brainer,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And let's put a trick of me doing the half cab so we can emulate the Air Jordan, you know, because I looked up to Nike and the Air Jordan, because we wore Air Jordans in the late 80s or mid 80s before I got sponsored by Vans. So I didn't get sponsored by Vans till 1988. So I was wearing Vans from 79 to 88 and never sponsored by them. And so I got my full sponsorship in 88. My shoe came out in 89, the half cab 92. And so now we just celebrated a couple years ago the 30-year anniversary of the half cab. And what my point is, if Vans never listened to me and said, hey, now let's just keep it the way it is. It's a trend. It's just going to fade. But they listen. And so now I'm celebrating 30 years of the half cab.
That's so iconic.
Yeah.
Such an iconic shoe.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.